This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It is Wednesday, August the 4th. I'm Steph here with Brandon and Erica, and Jeff has got the day off, which is lovely. So let's get started. So are you not vaccinated? So if you're not, it looks like Jennifer Aniston doesn't want to be friends with you. Speaking to InStyle magazine, Jen said that she caught out a few people in her weekly routine who refused to get the shot or have not disclosed whether or not they had been vaccinated. She called the situation, quote, tricky because she believes everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but she said a lot of opinions don't feel based on anything except fear or propaganda. So what do you think? Is she being over the top, or would you guys cut people out that are refusing to get the vaccine?
I'm not cutting anyone out because they refuse to get the vaccine. However, I can understand it being a major barrier, especially for someone like Jennifer Aniston. I can only imagine what she makes on a daily basis, and she said a part of her weekly routine. So to me, that implied it was a member of her team. And if you aren't able to move about the cabin like she is, then you're kind of in the way at that point, and that's just a reality, regardless of what the situation is for why or why not you're getting the vaccine. So I can understand her position from a business point. Me personally, am I doing that? I'm not, but I think that a lot of people are in that situation.
Yeah, and, the business point and like your tight circle of friends as well, because when you say weekly routine, like this is a woman who has to travel to, I imagine, to New York City to do things, and now you see New York City is implementing that whole vaccine passport where you have to have the QR code. So when we talk about weekly routine, hey, do you want to go to dinner? You have to be vaxxed to get into this restaurant. You want to go work out? You have to be vaxxed to get into this gym. So I imagine that she's one of those people who maybe she'll be real about it in the sense of, all right, I'll Zoom with those friends who are not vaxxed. I'll still stay in contact with those friends, and I'm hoping she at least does that, because we've had nothing but divisiveness these last couple of years.
No, I think, like you said, like for instance, take Tom Cruise and his set on Mission Impossible, how strict he was with all the guidelines. He had, I don't want to use had a meltdown, but he was very upset when people were not sticking to the guidelines, right? So I understand this, and there's going to be a lot of situations for Jen, like we've seen when there's been big events, everyone's had to have tests to prove that they aren't positive, and now, like you said, in New York, you have to show you've had the vaccine. And I mean, there are fake cards and things, but there's only so long that I think that's going to work. I mean, I think it's crazy that people are even doing that and then putting other people at risk, you know? And I think for Jen, when she's on, she's going to be in very small and close sets, photo shoots, on set maybe recording things. You know, she's going to have to be so careful about that environment. And she's a mega A-list star. She has to have control over her team, so I completely respect it. But I mean, would you literally, do you think she would ever cut someone out, or would you ever cut someone out if they literally were like, I refuse to get it and I don't care?
I mean, I know people, I have people in my life who are refusing the vaccine, and I don't have any plans on cutting them out. I will say that especially during the height of quarantine and stuff, like it does change things when I am doing a bigger event, like if I'm throwing a party or something. If there's someone who is in a sensitive demographic, can't get the vaccine, then I do keep that in mind for anyone who's very vocal about not getting the vaccine, because I don't want to pair those people together, so that it will change the way that we socialize.
Yeah, and I'm not cutting anyone out who doesn't get vaxxed, because I mean, I have too many people that have helped me get to this point of where I am right now. Too many people that are just too much closer friends, and I respect them for their decision, but it's already too much that's dividing us right now. I don't want this to be one thing that comes between me and close friends.
Okay, well, talking about someone is not divided between close friends, but this is calling someone out. Selena Gomez, she's calling out another TV show because they've made a joke at her expense. Selena recently put The Good Fight on blast over a recent episode where the characters discuss what is off limits in comedy these days due to cancel culture. So take a look.
Autism.
Selena Gomez's kidney transplant.
Hey, put one in just to throw everybody off.
All right.
One that's so inappropriate even you wouldn't joke about it.
So Selena posted this on social media, writing, quote, "I'm not sure how writing jokes about organ transplants for television shows has become a thing, but sadly it has apparently. I hope in the next writer's room, when one of these tasteless jokes are presented, it's called out immediately and doesn't make it on the air." So what do you think? Is cancel culture gone too far, or is this just bad taste?
I think it's bad taste. I mean, there's certain things that, yes, I would say should be off limits. But I look at Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones, how he was just so offensive, but so funny at the same time. He didn't get canceled. He got a bad Rotten Tomatoes score, but I mean, that was one of Netflix's hits at the time during the moment. So when it comes to that, I remember Taylor Swift, she called out that show Jeannie and Georgina, or Jeannie and Georgia, because they were making fun of her dating life. I think something when it comes to like dating life, that's okay, but I can see why Selena Gomez would be upset because she needed that organ transplant to save her life.
Well, I think Selena Gomez at this point has to be like, am I allowed to even breathe? I mean, you have to consider she was dragged in the media for so long due to her relationships with Justin Bieber and, I mean, a multitude of other things. So it's like, okay, fine. Maybe some of her decisions have lent itself to her being out there in a way that's unfavorable. And I'm saying that very on the borderline because I personally don't think she's done anything, but just by being a public figure. But her organ transplant,
I think it's really scraping the barrel.
It does feel like it's scraping. And here's the thing too, anytime you're called out, it's like, don't come for me unless I send for you. Don't start none and there won't be none. People are entitled to be able to defend themselves for whatever it is. And it's up to the court, I guess, of public opinion to decide if that's worthy or not. But at the end of the day, I think Selena Gomez is at a point where she doesn't have to wait for that court of public opinion. She can just simply speak out for herself in hopes that it's helping other people.
No, I definitely think so. And I think, like, let's not forget, she's one of the most famous people on Instagram. She's got such a huge pull. I think people don't realize, like, she's up there with, like, the Beyoncés, the Justin Biebers, you know. She's massively famous, so well respected, such an amazing icon, and also someone who literally, she was, like you said, an organ transplant shouldn't be laughed at. She literally was going to die. This isn't like a light, ha-ha moment, oh, I'm, you know, something silly, like, I'm not bashing Taylor about dating, but they're polar opposite ends of the spectrum. Your life is in jeopardy and her best friend literally stepped up to save her life. That shouldn't be a joke. People should be applauding that and like saying how amazing of her friend, you know?
So how do you feel about the people online who are now like, you're a celebrity, everyone's fair game in that sense?
Well, I think that's the culture that we live in. You know, the bigger your platform, it's very much like high risk, high yield. And for a lot of people, it's them being themselves to the varying degrees of how they're willing to be themselves. It's very difficult to truly be authentically yourself on major platforms. You're always going to be open for scrutiny no matter what you do. But I do feel like there is a line where it's like, but why though? But why?
Someone who is like super authentic themselves and amazing, one of my favorites is Rihanna. And we're going to talk about her. I love her so much. I'm so happy for her. She's officially part of the Billionaires Club. So Forbes estimates Rihanna is now worth a whopping $1.7 billion, making her the richest female musician in the world and the second richest entertainer next to Oprah. Casual flex. So much of her wealth hasn't come from music, surprisingly. It's actually from her super successful and inclusive Fenty Beauty Cosmetics and her Savage by Fenty lingerie line. So what do you reckon of her status? I love it. I'm so happy for her.
I'm happy for her too because she's really showing us in real time. She's had a lot of pressure to put more music out. And Rihanna's over here like, nah, I'm actually just going to become a part of the Billionaires Club. This is my whole thing. So yeah, you have to do you. You have to see that path for yourself. And now a lot of people who have been really on her about releasing music, she can release music at any point. Rihanna's like, what, 32
She's amazing.
years old? I mean, she's a young woman. So yes, get your billions and then do whatever you want with the music.
I love it. Well, coming up on DBL, is Ellen Pompeo ready to hang up her scrubs for good? And was Channing Tatum absent after his daughter's birth? You'll find all about it in What Up Wednesday coming up next. Oh, plus Grammy Award-winning singer and actress Tamela Mann is here. Did she convince Tyler Perry to bring out of retirement?
Closed captioning provided by
Rihanna. Rihanna, bad girl Riri. I remember when everyone back in the day was like, oh, she's too raunchy. She's not going to last. She needs to be more classy like Beyonce. And it was just another thing of people pitting women up against each other. And now she has hit the billionaires club by being her authentic self. I don't know anything about Savage, Fenty, or those products, but I see a lot of people posting it online, and she's just changed the game. Remember, she went after Victoria's Secrets because of their standards and on. She came out with more inclusive clothing and makeup for women, and you're seeing now, you're saying being authentic, being your authentic self is just, it's the way to go now.
No worries.
Well, it's always been the way to go. I think, you know, people get very, we get very insecure about who we are and how we present in the world, especially if we're not presenting in complete conformity.
Yeah.
And the truth is, the only way to win any game is to authentically be yourself, because every market's saturated, and the only thing that makes it special is you. So when you look at, you know, a Rihanna situation, like, yes, she could have been, when she came out with a lot of people who haven't released music since, but she's one of the only ones who built a beauty empire as a result of capitalizing and leveraging her fame. So, I mean, it's a really great teaching lesson.
Oh, we still going? Oh, okay. What else do we talk about? And then for the Selena Gomez thing, it's, I mean, I liken it to like the whole what Simone Biles is getting. I liken it to, we're seeing everyone has something to say now. Everybody wants to like try and bring down who's at the top, or crack some sort of joke at who's at the top. But when it comes to these jokes, it's like you have to land. Like it has to land, and it has to make people laugh and not be overly offensive with it. So we call that clout.
Welcome back to DBL. I'm Stephanie Jones, here to dish up the week's best celebrity gossip. What baby mama drama did Jenna Dewan have with her ex Channing Tatum? And what actress is planning to call it quits altogether when her longtime show finally ends? It's What Up Wednesday. But first, we're jetting to Los Angeles, where Lizzo and her TikTok boyfriend Captain America are expecting their first child. I mean, I'm just kidding, we need to back up a bit, but Lizzo has made no secret of her crush on Chris Evans, and luckily the Captain himself has been happy to play along. But Lizzo just leveled up their relationship with an announcement of superhero proportions.
This is something that I've been really trying to keep personal and private, just between me and the father of my child, but since we're airing out all the rumors today, I've been sucking in. We're gonna have a little America.
Well, this is obviously a peek into Lizzo's wildest dreams, and obviously not actual fact, but good-natured Chris Evans had a response as wholesome as Captain America himself. He sent Lizzo a message saying, "Just heard about our little bundle of joy. My mother will be so happy." And here's what's up. At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if the next video Lizzo posts is of her Vegas wedding to a life-size cutout of Chris. But one thing's for sure, Lizzo seems to be feeling good as hell about her internet love affair. And hey, we can't argue. Next, we're sticking around Los Angeles and heading to the exclusive Los Feliz area, where Ellen Pompeo is ready to say goodbye to her longtime alter ego, Dr. Meredith Grey. Since 2005, Dr. Grey has been a weekly staple on primetime TV, and after 18 seasons, Ellen is ready to hang up her acting career along with a lab coat when the doors of Grey Sloan Memorial close for good. She said she's excited for life beyond Hollywood and wants to be more of an entrepreneur, and she also remarked that the grueling schedules of production are better suited for the young at heart. Here's what's up. How many years do you have to play a doctor on TV to actually be one? Because if Ellen is looking for a new career after acting, well, paging Dr. Pompeo Finally, we're heading to Beverly Hills where Jenna Dewan revealed that her twinkle-toed ex-husband, Channing Tatum, wasn't around much after the birth of their daughter, Everly. Long gone are the days when this steamy couple danced their way onto the big screen and into our hearts. And Jenna recently spilled some pretty major tea about her early days of motherhood to their daughter, Everly, saying it was, quote, really difficult because Channing was away for work most of the time. And not only did she have to travel alone with the baby, she also revealed that she kept Everly with her on set while she worked extremely long hours because her husband was off somewhere else. And because of all of this, she suffered major postpartum anxiety. Here's what's up. When it comes to newborn babies, I don't care how magic his mic is. It takes two to tango. Channing. And if anyone knows how to tango, I mean, come on. It's you. That's it for this week's What Up Wednesday. We'll be right back. So, guys, after we... to slam Channing, but rather detail her experience as a new mother. So it's also highlighted ways Channing has proven himself to be a doting dad. So here's what's up now. This story proves that celebrity gossip changes as fast as Magic Mike rips his pants off. And as for parenthood, we'll leave that to Jenna and Channing to work out. See you later. We'll be right back.
We all know that movement is like that.
Schools across the country are getting ready to welcome back students as the Delta variant races through communities. So what does Delta mean for schools? Let's connect the dots. Health officials admit that the highly contagious Delta variant has changed the war on COVID. Despite that, experts including the American Academy of Pediatrics agree that getting kids back in classrooms should be a priority. That is because of the dangers of learning loss, mental health concerns, and the hardships on parents. But can it be done safely? Research shows that in-school transmission last year was low when schools took basic precautions. That includes wearing masks and 3-foot distancing. A pediatric infectious disease specialist told the New York Times with those kinds of precautions, there will be some transmission, but it will be relatively infrequent. With even more precautions, including symptom screening, improved ventilation, and required hand washing, transmission rates were lower than the surrounding community. All that research was before the Delta variant started fueling a fourth wave, and there are still a lot of things we don't know yet about Delta. While more kids are getting coronavirus right now, that could be because they are more likely to be unvaccinated. And while children are less likely to have severe cases, some kids with mild infections may experience long-term symptoms. Connecting the dots, I'm Janelle Bluda, KHOU 11 News.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, we caught up with one of my faves, gospel singer and actress Tamela Mann, in today's Chatting with the Stars. Take a look at her newest song from her album, Overcomer.
What will? That was our next guest's latest single, Help Me. You might know her, of course, as Medea's daughter, but her new album, Overcomer, proves there's more behind her famous smile. Joining us live is actress and gospel singer Tamela Mann. Hey, Tamela.
Hey, hey.
Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody?
We're doing
After
well.
that song, we're very good. We're good because of you, sis. Oh, my goodness.
Well, thank you. Look, we all could use a little help.
Hey, that's right.
And Tamela, okay, so a lot of our viewers have written in about you, and we know you've been focusing on your health. You look fantastic, by the way. Many people struggle to get to and maintain a healthy weight. Our viewers want to know what worked for you.
What worked for me is trying to do, make better choices and to actually put on, when I'm making a plate, do like one carb instead of like 1 or 2 carbs on a plate. So that is one thing that kind of helped me along the way. But as the album cover says, overcome. So I'm still trying to overcome this thing. It's nothing that you just learn how to do overnight. I came in the world weighing 9.5 pounds. I've been dealing with this my whole life. And it's not that I want to be skinny or, or really, really small. I just want to be healthier.
Overcomer addresses some of your personal struggles. And most women don't talk about menopause and its impact on mental health. So what do you want other women to know about menopause?
I want other women to know about menopause. It's okay. And to actually let people know that it's happening. It's just like us as a kid, you don't want to let people know that you started on your monthly as a youth, as a teenager. But as a woman and going into this, it's important to let somebody know that something is happening with you, because I didn't know really what was happening to me. It's like I knew that I was happy, then all of a sudden I was sad, and then I may just bust out and start crying and not knowing what was going on with me. But my family stepped in there and helped me out. My husband started researching, and of course I went to the doctor and they prescribed something, but it was taking me too low. So I was not the happy, hunky-dory, cheery person that I was. It was making me really, really sad. And I was about to go into a depression, and I didn't even know. So with the help of family and my faith, I'm just overcoming. That's why I entitled the album Overcomer, that I did need help, that it's okay to ask for help. Sometimes I grew up in the church, so we go to the church for help, but it's okay to get some earthly help, meaning talk to somebody to walk you through it.
So important, especially in today's day and age. But you're a Grammy winner. You had some awards behind you, I see as well.
Saw those.
You have worked with some incredible people like Wyclef, Timbaland, and Kirk Franklin. Who do you want to work with in the future?
Oh, my dream to work with is, I'm putting it in there, Selena Gomez. I want to do a song with her. Yes. I feel like our voices, because she has such a big voice and I have a big voice, I feel like we will be very compatible.
Now, Tyler Perry is bringing Madea out of retirement with a Madea Homecoming this fall on Netflix. You have to tell us what inspired him to get back into this role.
I think what happened is he called us and he was like, it's so much going on in the world and so many people are dealing with a lot of sadness, losing family members, losing work and homes and all of it. He said, we just need to make the people laugh. And he was like, that's what it's all about right now. So bringing some joy and laughter and, to everyone. And when I tell you, they are coming, I'm the peacemaker, but I'm holding the peace in the family, but they are going to bring some great laughter for everybody.
Looking forward to it.
Tamela Mann, thank you so much for joining us. You're such an inspiration, obviously, to us, but I'm looking at the comments from our viewers. You are appreciated. DBL Nation, her new album, Overcomer, will be available to stream and download this Friday. Mark it on your calendars. Thank you so much, Tamela. We'll be right back. Bye, girl.
Thank you, everybody. Pick it up.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Let's separate fact from fiction here when it comes to another stimulus. The main question we're getting is like this one from David in Kokomo, who asks very simply and directly, are we getting a fourth stimulus check? Here's what we found out, and our sources are the Senate Finance Committee and the U.S. Treasury Department. First, David is not alone in his question. Take a look at people searching the phrase fourth stimulus check on Google. The subject has picked up a ton of interest, starting all the way back in March. That's when a group of 21 senators sent the president a letter voicing support for additional direct monthly payments to support Americans struggling through the pandemic. Then, a couple weeks ago, this post started circulating on Facebook, claiming Congress passed another stimulus package and we'd all be getting another check for $2,500 on July 30th. We can verify that is false. The post is a hoax that has since been removed by Facebook, but it was widely shared and got a lot of people talking. The reality is, when new stimulus payments are approved, the U.S. Treasury quickly posts information about them on the IRS website. So far, neither the Treasury nor the IRS have mentioned anything about a fourth round of economic impact payments. And we reached out to the office of Senator Ron Wyden. He's chairman of the Senate Finance Committee and one of the senators who signed the letter urging President Biden to consider another stimulus. Wyden's office tells Verify they are not aware of any fourth stimulus that is currently in the works. That has not prevented 2.7 million people from signing an online petition calling on Congress to approve $2,000 payments to all adults in the U.S. every month for the duration of the pandemic. But so far, that has not happened. So we can verify claims that a fourth stimulus have been approved. Well, that's false. And while millions of Americans and some lawmakers would like that to change, there's nothing to suggest that that is going to happen.
Comments, and I believe Erica has got some.
Yes, Linda says, I agree with Jennifer Aniston. No one is allowed near me without a vaccine or we will never stop this spread. Dan says about Selena Gomez, people are too sensitive. The show was making a point to say it was inappropriate. Context matters. She's embarrassing herself. And Carly says, yes, Riri deserves her billions.
Oh, she does.
Congratulations.
So you think she is embarrassing herself? I know we got to go.
Oh, no, I know
context,
Rihanna. I'm like, Rihanna deserves that status. She's the queen.
I thought queen was Beyonce.
They're both shared title holders.
Okay, there we go.
DBL's new every day. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place.